Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to the 9 p.m. live English news edition. The headlines. The head of state presides over the work of the 22nd sitting. The international record number of new cases in the United Kingdom due to COVID-19. Hello, welcome to our newsroom for having the news in details. Today, Tuesday, December 29th, the session of Ministry of Councils for 2020 was held at the Presidential Palace. During this session, the ministers discussed several legal projects on the draft agenda of the Council. As usual, the Minister of Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, the official spokesperson for the government, commented on the most important topics of this session, which will continue to pursue with Dina Moussa.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Sous la présidence du chef de l'État, son Excellence M. Ismail Omar Guelleh, s'est tenue la 22e séance du Conseil des ministres en ce mardi 29 décembre 2020.
The first question concerns a communication made by the Minister of Labour on the project of national initiatives for employment. The initiative of the Ministry of Labour in charge of administrative reform. The National Employment Initiative Project was officially launched during a meeting chaired by the Head of State on 26 October 2020. This initiative, the spearhead of all government measures in favor of job creation, is intended to change the collective perception of unemployment by our fellow citizens. It highlights the efforts of all those involved in employment, vocational training, and entrepreneurship to enhance and synergize the actions of each and everyone to achieve full and productive employment and decent work in Djibouti. This initiative is also part of a broader perspective, that of the government, which makes the fight against youth unemployment a national priority and announces the forthcoming implementation of the Decent Work Country program of the International Labour Organization in our country. This project, carried out in 4 important stages, aims to create thousands of jobs for young people in the coming months. The program is being implemented through a series of meetings to create a national dynamic based on the commitment and support of the entire employment ecosystem. The series of consultations with the various employment stakeholders marks the second phase of the project to create national favor, appeal to the corporate citizenship responsibility of companies, discuss frankly with all stakeholders the obstacles to implement and agree on a professional pact. This employment initiative aims to create 5,811 jobs, with 2,980 committed to vocational training. The second question concerns a draft decree approving the provisional 2021 budget of the Military Pension Fund. The budget for the 2020 financial year of the CMR is set at 2,293 Djiboutian francs in income and expenditure. The third question relates to a draft decree approving the provisional budget for the 2021 financial year of the National Meteorological Agency of Djibouti. This 2021 budget of the National Meteorological Agency is set at 161 million Djiboutian francs with an investment budget of around 34,700,000 Djiboutian francs. Fourth question concerns a draft decree on the allocation of a plot of land for the benefit of the company, the Great Horn Training Center. This plot of land of 5 hectares, 50,000 square meters, located at PK23 and intended for the establishment of the Greenhorn Training Center. On behalf of the government, I would like to express to you all a happy new year to our country. Peace, prosperity, and progress.
Following the death of the late Mohammed Mahmoud Haid last Thursday, the evening in Djibouti, the Ogas of Isa, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Ibrahim, offers its sincere condolences to his family, especially the President of the Republic, Mrs. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the First Lady, Mrs. Khadra Mohammed Haid. May God Allah welcome him in his paradise, eternal paradise. Inna lillah wa inna ilayhi raji'un. An important ceremony were held for the investment agreement between a Great Horn Investment Holding and China Merchant for the project of transforming the historic port into a business district took place today via video conference. The ceremony was attended by the chairman of the Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authorities, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, and Mr. Li Yandeng, the Deputy Managing Director of China Merchant Group, as well as other senior officials of the Djibouti Port and Free Zones Authority and China Merchant. This project, with a total investment of more than 350 million USD, will make Djibouti a leading business center where the business community around the world meets and exchange, and will eventually create more than 27,000 jobs. It will also mark the culmination of the strategy of Port Park City, a model integrating efficient ports, free zones and business centers. The first stage of this vast project has already started in October 8th under the patronage of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and concerned the construction of an exhibition center and a 4-star hotel, eventually business towers, centers for the headquarters of major international groups. The important ceremony of the investment agreement between the Great Horn Investment Holding in China Merchant for the project to develop a historical port to become a business park was held in a video conference today. This major project, involving a total investment of more than $350 million, will make Djibouti a leading business center where the business community around the world meets and exchange, and will eventually create more than 27,000 jobs. It also marks the culmination of the strategy of the Port Park City, a model integrating efficient port-free zones and business centers. The first stage of this huge project has already started on October 8 under the patronage of the President of the Republic, His Excellency Mr. Ismail Omar Guelleh, and consists of the construction of an exhibition center and a 4-star hotel, eventually business towers, centers for the headquarters of major international groups, but also walking areas in shopping malls will be constructed. The President of the Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authorities, Mr. Abubakar Omar Hadi, and Mr. Li Yaneng, the Deputy Managing Director of China Merchant Group, as well as other senior executive of the Djibouti Ports and Free Zone Authorities and China Merchant, participated in the ceremony. In 2011, the head of state launched the milestone of a new proactive policy focused on improving the living and housing condition of people living in precarious neighborhoods lacking basic infrastructure. As part of the implementation of the Zero Slum programs and at the initiative of the Ministry of Housing, the Director General of the Urban Rehabilitation and Social Housing Agency, Mr. Abdurrahman Ali Ahmed, proceeded this morning has the delivery of a second batch of rolling stone consisting of backhoe loaders and dump trucks to the Prefecture of Djibouti. This important donation of equipment is part of the capacity building of the Prefecture of Djibouti, who participated in the rating of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Laws has the proper implementation of activities of this program Zero Slums. At the end of the ceremony, the Director General Manager handed over the keys to the Prefect of the City of Djibouti, Mr. Osman Giri, who thanked the Ministry of Housing and the agency Arulaus for the delivery of this first batch of vehicles that will support the Prefecture of Djibouti in carrying out their missions. In his speech, he spoke of the importance that these mechanisms and dump trucks will play in supporting zero slums activities. The director noted the idea of introducing such mechanism is an important step and will support those responsible for implementing zero slums programs. And throughout it, we attempt to build the capacity of workers to implement development programs for the country, to develop our participation and work together to provide a livable life for all citizens and to beautify the country. As part of the program for the protection of children's rights, the National Union for Jewish Women, UNFD, in partnership with UNICEF, organized this morning of December 2020 a capacity building training for community actors of 2 new GCCs. The objective is to sensitize community actors on children's rights and protection. The training was supervised by Mrs. Mariam Kako and Halima Noor of UNFD, and saw the participation of youth and women, the President of the Council of Anglais and Neighborhoods 3. As part of the program to accelerate all forms of female genital mutilation in the action plan for the year 2020, the Department of the Implementation of Social Project of Ministry of Muslim Affairs, Culture and Waqf Property, in collaboration with the local office of UNFPA, launched this morning at the Sheraton Hotel a 3-day training workshop aimed at strengthening the capacity of ulamas to reach the milestone of zero FGM by 2030. facilitated by clerics of the Shamikhat network, namely Sheikh Abdurrahman Muhammad Ali and Awali Tahir Jama. The state workshop will allow religious leaders participating in this workshop to learn the art of communication in order to sensitize the population on the position of the Muslim religion with regard to female genital mutilation. The inaugural ceremony of this workshop of paramount importance on the health of our daughters has brought together the administrative and financial director, Ikran Naik Usman, director of Islamic Affairs, Mr. Saleh Ahmed Abdullah, representative of UNFPA in Djibouti, namely Sufran Ahmed Mohammed and Roble Tuali Musa. This session will undoubtedly allow participants to acquire the necessary knowledge in the areas of education and awareness of society, particularly mothers, about the harmful effect of the FGM on the health of girls. During the opening ceremony, the various speakers affirmed the need to convince Djiboutian women to completely eliminate FGM throughout the country. In accordance now with the directive of the State Secretary for Youth and Sport, His Excellency Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, the community development centers of the capital city launched during school breaks, sports, education and recreational activities. Thus, young people on Christmas and New Year's vacation meet during this week at the community development centers to engage in favorite sports activities, education, board games, and especially reading. Thanks to the recent reactivation of the ICLAG project, jointly by the State General Secretary of the Francophonie and the State Secretary for Youth and Sports. Digital reading motivates young girls and boys more than traditional books. It should be noted that the launch of sport, education, and recreational activities through the CDCs, beyond their contribution in terms of integration and development, is also part of the fight against idleness, the mother of all vices. The State Secretary for Youth and Sport, His Excellency Mr. Hassan Mohammed Kamil, welcomed the launch of such activities, especially the encouragement of reading among young people during school breaks, and the expressed confidence that this initiative will bear fruit in the near future, inshallah, regarding the learning of the French language. Now, the workshop was opened by the prefect of the Ali Sabih region, Mr. Musa Aden Migani, and the chief physician of Ali Sabih and Dakhil region, respectively, a meeting which lasted. The coordinator of the expanded program on immunization presented the results of the immunization campaign for the Asajog in Okal region. This meeting gave rise to discussion on the strong point, but also the weak points and difficulties encountered, which will be corrected together for future immunization campaigns. As part of the surveillance activities carried out by the National Navy and the Coast Guard in Djibouti in cooperation with the Coast Guard, a boat carrying out a contraband was arrested in the area north of Mush Island on December 25th. The smuggled goods consisted of a large quantity of cigarettes, all of which were illegally destined for the local market. In this regard, the combined efforts of the National Navy and the Coast Guard have redoubled their effort to curb this phenomenon, which is damaging the national economy. These involved will be brought to justice. Within the framework of the annual sustained monitoring, LANA came to visit the mineral water production plant in the Arta region, particularly the plant's organic ore. It has carried out a sanitary inspection in the organic mineral water production chain. The team of the Mobile Brigade did not fail to make its recommendations to improve the quality of bio water. Thus, LANA accompanies the nutritional production plants. As part of the fight against smuggling, customs officials from Dakhil province, in cooperation with national police officials, entered Balkit with a large quantity of smuggled cat on December 28th. This large quantity of cat was smuggled from Ethiopia via Bondara district to the town of Dakhil. This package weighed 30 kilograms, totaling in 120 kilograms of cat by smugglers. Customs officials destroyed these groups of cat. Moving on to international news, as I mentioned on the title, the UK recorded 41,000 new cases of COVID-19 in a single day on Monday, a record since the start of the pandemic. There are now more people in hospital than at a peak of the first wave. In Spain, the situation is not better. The 50,000 death mark was passed on Monday, and the figures are probably underestimated. After 2 weeks of decline, the incidence rate of the virus rose again on Christmas Eve. The World Health Organization is sounding the alarm. We are not fully prepared for the current pandemic and even less for the next one, said Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, Director General of the World Health Organization. After Germany, Hungary and Slovakia on Saturday, Spain, Italy and France on Sunday, Belgium and Luxembourg have also started to vaccinate. The authorities want to tighten the screw all the way to Sweden, while it had been pursuing a rather lax policy until now. The Swedish government presented a bill on Monday that temporarily gives it new powers that will allow it from January to decide the closure of shopping centers, department stores or public transport if necessary. This is it for this edition of 9 p.m. Thank you for watching us and have a wonderful evening.